Next topic, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, August 1945. As a top secret, the project using the latest scientific advance. The USA using the scientific technologies, and the USA developed the atomic bomb immensely, the more powerful the conventional explosions. Conventional explosives. The Japanese generals refused to surrender. The Japanese generals, leaders, they refused to surrender, and finally the USA dropped an atomic bomb in Hiroshima. The first causes, the Japanese generals refused to surrender, and finally the US dropped an atomic bombs on Hiroshima. As the Japanese, they still not surrendered. They refused to surrender. So first one is the Hiroshima. The American forces the bombed in this bomb blast in the Hiroshima. After that, the Japanese also not surrender. Still they refused to surrender. Another atom bomb was dropped on the Nagasaki. So next one is the Japanese ultimately announced the 15th August 1945. The Japanese ultimately announced the surrender on 15th August 1945, and formally they signed the 2nd September 1945, the end of the Second World War. 2nd September in 1945, the end of the Second World War, the bringing on the end of the World War, World War II. So the two important things, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the atom bombed in to the Japans, and ultimately the Japanese surrendered announced the surrender on 15th August 1945. The 2nd September 1945, the end of the Second World War. Next one is the effects of the war. The first one, new geopolitical powers alignment. Second one is nuclear proliferations. Third one is international agencies. The first one is the new geopolitical powers alignment. The World War II that changed the world fundamental ways. So the World War II that changed the fundamental waves. The world was polarized into two main blocks. The world was divided into two main blocks. One is the superpowers, the United States. The superpowers, one lead to the United States with the pronounced the anti-communist ideologies. The two mainly superpowers after the Second World War, one is USA, another one is Russia. The United States, the pronounced the anti-communist ideology. So against anti-communist ideology in USA, and the other the Soviet Russia, Europe was divided into two communist and non. One is the communist and non-communist. The Europe already capturing Soviet Russia in eastern part. So the Soviet Russia, another one is Soviet Russia. Europe was divided into two parts. One is the West Europe, another one is the East Europe. So West Europe controlled by the America, East Europe controlled by the Russia. So second one is nuclear proliferations. The United States and the Soviet Union entered into race in the have more nuclear powers weapons. So after the World War II, the world was divided into two. One is the USA and one is Russia. These two countries, they increased the enormous weapons, nuclear weapons. The two powers, they increased the powers weapons. They built a large stockpile of the such weapons. The defense spent the sky rocketed in many countries. So rocket also found. Another one is the international agencies. Many international agencies, in particular the UNO, particularly United Nations, the World Bank, so support to the underdeveloped countries. So these are support to the underdeveloped or developing countries. One is a many international agencies, in particular the UNO, the World Bank. Another one is the UNO and the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund come into the existence of provide the forms for the countries here, large and small. Large countries and small countries. The colonial powers were forced to give independence to former colonies in a process of decolonization. So the colonial power is destroyed. So all the countries got a independence. The colonial powers were forced to give up the independence to former colonies in a process decolonization. India was the first independence country. India was the first to achieve the independence country. Thank you.